Hello friends, I'm Brian, or Gizmo Board Games. If you haven't already checked out the first video, please do. It kind of explains who I am and my plans for this series, or I should say lack of plans for this series. If you've seen it, welcome back. It's good to have you again. And if you like what I do, please don't forget to like and subscribe. I look forward to hearing from you and meeting you all, hopefully someday, for a real board game. So this video is the initial idea I had for the series because you want to stand out, and I know there's plenty of how to play videos out there, and I feel like I'm going to add my own at some point or quick run throughs with some reviews and thoughts. But my original idea for the series for creating videos was basically how not to play board games, and I don't mean to like teach you the wrong way to play board games. That is to say, I'm pretty bad at playing the board games. I don't win very many when I'm not playing against my 9-year-old. I'll put it that way. When I'm playing with a competent game group, I don't have a knack for winning, and I figured maybe I could make a series that shows like how to play through how I play, so that way you can learn bad strategies for playing your games. I figured I'd branch out from that. I just didn't have enough ideas to keep it creative enough, so I figured I'd go with the straight route, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to start with the general idea of how not to play board games. So, my first how not to play a board game is a big one to me, and that is there's no groups. It's, as you see, I'm sitting at the table by myself right now. It's hard to play a board game by yourself. Not to say that there aren't many great solo board games out there. One of my favorites is right behind me. I don't know if you can see it. Final Girl. Love it, love it. And it's a solo player only. But most games, you're going to want at least two. A lot of them, 4 or 5 is the happy place. And I work shift work. I'm over in Germany. It's just hard to find a set group of people. Every couple weeks, I do have some guys who come over and we play a game or two, and that's good. But to really keep up in the hobby, I'd love to play more, and I just don't have the group. So that's number one. Just there's no group for me to play with. Number two, especially for me, I have too many hobbies. Yeah, I love board gaming. I play World of Warcraft. That takes up a lot of my time. I also brew my own beer, so that takes a whole brew day away. Whenever I brew some beer, I like going out, with my family and friends when I can. Hopefully that the world's changing quick enough that'll become a reality pretty soon again. I also am a roller coaster enthusiast, and I try to make it out to a few amusement parks each year. Maybe I'll add a video or two if I do that this year to the channel, kind of a side to board game vlog. I don't know. It's a thought I had. But let's get back on this topic. Yeah, it's just too many hobbies. If you have too many hobbies, it's going to be really hard to find time to play games, because one of your hobbies or the other it's going to get lost in the shuffle. And that's a problem with me trying to play board games. Sometimes I just won't for a month because I've got other hobbies I'm attending to, but we always come back. The third one I have is just distractions, lots of distractions. I mentioned earlier, I'm a shift worker. That means I work 12-hour shifts. Basically makes a 13, 14-hour workday for me when you include, getting ready and travel time and everything. And so, on the work days, it's just hard to find time to do anything but unwind at the end of the day and get some sleep, get ready for the next one. Um, Another distraction is family. Like I said in my previous video, my family doesn't really play board games. My youngest tries, but for the most part, they're not really that interested. So this is kind of my hobby. And so when the family's trying to do something and, they want my time and I want to give them my time, it's just another thing that gets in the way of board gaming. So it's a good distraction, but that's still a distraction. Another distraction is other gamers. Yes, I do spend a lot of time watching people play board games. I enjoy it. I like watching Rodney Smith and Rado and Quackalope and Board Game Co. And I know I'm missing some people. Dice Tower for sure got me really into this. I like learning about the games I don't have, the ones I want to buy, and shout out to those guys. You're putting in the work. But that watching those guys means I'm not in here playing a game. Other games, like I mentioned, World of Warcraft. I play a lot of World of Warcraft, and that takes a lot of my time, and I really enjoy playing with my guild mates and some of my real life friends. But when I'm playing World of Warcraft, I'm not in here playing a board game. So that's another way to not play. And one last thing in the distraction subcategory is too many choices. You can't see everything I've got, and I don't even have the biggest collection, that's for sure. You can see plenty of empty spaces waiting on those Kickstarters and other games to arrive. But sometimes I want to play a board game, I'll walk in here and I'll never pick one. I'll spend a half hour just trying to figure out if I want to play this one or that one or that one. And then just a half hour passes and I haven't grabbed anything off the shelf, and that's a half hour I could have been playing. Number 4, a big how not to play board games. Rules errors. In fact, I played a Dinosaur Island just the other day. You know, pulled it out, totally liquid expansion, was playing through it, and then I got to the point where the AI was just kicking my butt, meeting all the goals they needed. And I couldn't figure out how I could catch up. And then I remembered I was scoring in-game points as I was going along. Basically, that ruined the whole game. A good 45 minutes in, I basically didn't even I couldn't finish the game. I just chalked it up as an L and put it away. So that's a big how not to play. Make sure before you play, especially if you're playing with a group and you're the teacher of a new game, that you've got those rules and everything square in your mind before you go, before you're in the game. And I remember a past experience actually with a Power Grid where we did the same thing. We forgot to discard. If nobody drafted any of the cards, we forgot to discard I think with the highest or lowest. I don't remember. It's been a while since I played. But that game just didn't advance for the longest time because we just missed that rule. So yeah, another way to not play is to not know the rules. Another how not to play, and this one again comes from personal experience. The roam group. That's not to say that having a group is bad, because I'll take a group over no group, trust me. But for me, I'm a big Euro gamer. I'd like to get all the pieces on the board, come up with a strategy, and hope it comes through 2 hours later the way I planned it out, more than chucking dice and, you know, I've got King of Tokyo over there. I like King of Tokyo, but I like Concordia or Viticulture a whole lot more. More my speed. But if you got the gamers over who just, like my mom or my 9-year-old, like I'll play games with them and they'll be fun games and I'll have a good time. But they're not the right group for me to really play the games I want to play, how I want to play them. So that's just another minor how not to play. And the last note I have on my board is Munchkin. I don't like Munchkin. Kind of one of those games that a lot of people really like, and it feels like D&D did them, which is D&D is another thing I don't get into. I just like structured, already built. No knock against D&D. I've tried it a few times. I had a good time with the people I was playing with, but for me, there's just too much downtime and too much imagination. And I would much rather, like I said, have that game where I'm going to build off of what I've got and know what I'm trying to do without the DM coming in. But back to Munchkin. Yeah, people really like that game, and I don't. So how not to get me to play is to bring Munchkin. That's mostly a joke because I'll probably play it, but I probably won't. All right, thanks for joining me on this little, I guess, countdown in ways of how not to play board games. If you like what I've got, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.